Welcome, cycle breakers. We are doing a mini talk where I talk a little bit about what I'm picking up from the collective and we apply it to the framework that we practice every week. And so when I share, not to be known, but as a window into you, so to use that for you as a way in, as a mirror. So I recently had a conversation with a friend and was saying that I needed to get a little extra sleep because of what's happening in LA and what's happening with the flotilla that got taken over, and just mentioned it. And this friend said, I support what's happening in LA, but I do not support the chaos and the rioting. That is just not okay. And I said, yes, and from where I stand, we have been firmly saying stop for a very long time, that this is not okay. And protests, as peaceful as they are, and it was peaceful until the National Guard was called in, can only do so much. So zooming out, we learn about healthy boundaries. And healthy boundaries are not passive. They are active. Active in the sense of I am constantly attuning to my body, to my littles, figuring out what is it I need to be able to be safe in this body, to protect this body as much as I protect other bodies. That is the commitment of being human. That is the commitment of being a cycle breaker with healthy boundaries. It's an active process of discernment. And part of decolonizing is we need to undo a lot of what we've learned in our nervous systems. What we've learned in our nervous systems have been an adaptation to collective trauma in order to survive. And what I know from the work that we've been doing here and the work that I've done for 20 years is it's taking off all of this muck, all of these adaptations to actually be able to see the true humanity in each person. So being able to restrain one's voice and to restrain one's body while someone that you love gets taken, to maintain silence in the midst of such violence is an adaptation to trauma. So what we do is we see in layers, right? We zoom in and we zoom out, and we also zoom into the collective experience based on our ancestors. And what I see very clearly now, what's happening here on this land versus what's happening on all these other lands, is it's all the same dynamic. You can call it colonization, you can call it oppression, whatever you name it, it's not okay. And this is not the normal that our bodies and our nervous systems should be accepting. One body being taken is one too many bodies. If we use the framework that I am as important, as precious as every other single body on this planet, one body is too many and not okay. As one collective, that is really important information. As we align to ourselves, create the life that we deserve to live, the lives that everyone else on this planet deserves to live as well. So I remember when my friend said this, I was like, damn it, I was really enjoying this friendship and now I have to cut it off. And I had to breathe and I had to ground. And I had to rein in my teenager. And I had to hold my wounded child. And I had to feed each of them that light, that nourishment, that reminder. Only look to me for your safety, belonging, and love. we exiling these people, ghosting these people, shaming these people for beliefs is the same thing as deporting people from a land, right? So zooming in, I had to really regulate myself from doing the same harm that I am saying, no, we cannot do that. So I needed a boundary for myself as well. Not to open up in porosity, but with a healthy boundary and hang in there in the conversation and say, I don't think we have enough information. I know from these other experiences, there are people within the hate groups that were actively doing it to be perceived that this was chaotic. So we need to hang in there to discern the truth. Would you be open to that discernment with me? And they were like, oh, okay. I held my boundary and I said, I can see why you think that. And this is what I'm thinking. Same size circles, right? And invited them into this process with me. For us to be cycle breakers, we need to break every cycle, every dynamic where this shows up, every time with love and with boundaries. For us to get through this and end this dynamic of oppression, we need to undo that oppression within ourselves as well. And admittedly, I say this every week. Thank goodness for my cycle breaker groups that I can come here and go, this is very hard. And it takes a group. It takes a group because collectively we are stronger, because that's how we're supposed to be, is in connection with each other. That is the end of my mini talk. Thank you.